This is March 1st, 2026. After yesterday, just flustered. And the ignorance of these people. There's this one waitress in Virginia's restaurant in Carrollton. She's ran her mouth before how the police talked to her. Yeah. And they like to badmouth me. Names. And she likes to make sure I hear her. Okay? And she's over there. The police are working with this office, trying to make sure she's not allowed around children no more. Okay, we're going to put it this way. And she tried to act like the Stark County Sheriff's talked to her. Just to say that. The bitch better be like, my phone is blocked by the police and the FBI. They got that bitch saying that stuff again. Now, see, that's where those idiots ran around where they drugged her and told her to say stuff before. We used sodium pentothal or the hypnotic drugs and told her to say stuff by drug dealers. The FBI has arrested several attorneys' offices, actually messed up in the drug cartel, and main suppliers, and even found dead bodies under their homes. And they're in jail. They've got them this last year. 2 big attorneys' offices. Okay. Now, the Stark County Sheriff's worked the FBI case. They've worked it since the beginning. I was at Faith Family Church 2 years ago. Stark County Sheriff in uniform was talking. They know they saw the login. They have it there. It don't matter. Said, we all know they opened an informant case with her. They have us out watch her. We all know they made fun of Agent John for falling for this. This whole thing is a mess. And I didn't think it one bit funny how he talked to her on the phone. They have mentioned carrying around the house, They sold the log in there. Those people have it. Cartel was there, Judge Peter's group from Florida, Dave's crazy girlfriend, Michelle, trying to lie that she's Judge Pete's daughter, then FBI agent Will's daughter, how they're above the law, and she can have everybody drug, beat, and rape. Law enforcement can't stop them. Took me a while to figure out Dave's girlfriend and then the Henry Mafia who put their statements together. That's her dad. The poor family that's in debt to drug dealers that even human traffic people to pay them back. My God. The whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. They've already confessed. Now, I want you to think about this. Where those ladies said after January 1926, the next week, okay, I was up in going to go in Bob Evans and Fairlawn. Some lady investigators are out there. Those church people need to realize how dumb they look and actually how stupid they look. They have people saying they drugged her and told her to say it before. And they said they'd have somebody verify they were part of having somebody drugged and told to say it before. And there was no crime committed. Yeah. See, you actually have to prove somebody was injured. You have to have bruises, like I had bruises, personal infection, damage, intestines, I have a dent in my head, a lot of medical proof I was being injured. Didn't know who was hurting me, where I had the bruises, throwing up, severe infection, and I thought it was a dirty well water, and I thought it was killing me. And never talked to anybody, never had them in my home. These people laughed As I walked by in the hallway, they would stab me with those drugs, and they worked so fast. You don't remember being stabbed. They call sleepwalking for hours, metal taste in your mouth, and no memory. They call them mind-controlling drugs at Faith Family Church. Came out in 25 that they admitted to using hypnotic drugs when they drugged me and told me to say it before. Now think of this, an attorney's office being messed up in a drug scam to extort money from the government. And where those idiots ran around the first of the case, she tries to leave. Dave, we used sodium pentothal on her. Blah, 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 blah. We'll make sure she'll never be allowed around her grandchildren again or any other children. She tries to leave Dave. Whoa, da 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 da. Okay? Wow. They thought if they made it out that I was a dirty person, they'd have a right to kill me in front of people. It was their scam. Came from people admitted that human trafficked people to pay back a drug debt. The whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. They had tried to kill me. They even admitted they tried it. They had tried to kill me. It didn't work, so they decided to free me instead. Came up with a scam. And then get the scam all set up, scare me into calling the FBI. They'd open a case, and they thought the FBI was so dumb they'd hand drug dealers and killers and rapists money. Okay? I don't know what drugs they're on, but they hallucinate a lot. I want you to think about that. Hallucinate a lot. Where they always say it's an attorney's office. You know, there's been a couple big attorney offices messed up in the cartel, main suppliers, and the FBI's got them. So, Dave said it was just some guy named Petey hired on his own. Louisville police said it was just two men Dave hired on his own. The case states that one said he was an attorney. He didn't say it was. He said he was. All right. Now, there is... See, they had to yell it at me. People were screaming stuff at me, and people yelled back at them. Used amnesia drugs on her. You drugged her up and told her to say stuff. She doesn't even remember you. You can be mean as you want. She'll never remember. So they yelled at me, and I ran and threw up. Told my neighbor, Jim, at the time, he told me, Karen, that'd be horrible if they did that to you. I said, I had real bruises, really throwing up, real severe personal infection. I thought the dirty well water was killing me just showering in it. He said, Karen, that'd be awful if someone played with you like that. Yeah, it is. Now, just think, they basically roofied hypnotic drugs and told us they horrible stuff. I found out. Photoshopped washing in the shower. Found out it wasn't even me and some lady washing in the shower, and they put my head on her body. Body ratio was wrong. And they did document and verify that it was hypnotic drugs they used on me when they drugged me up and told me to say it before. That I have no memory of these people. Okay? Predators prey on someone. Now, there's no evidence of anybody being hurt before. And definitely not by me. And investigators even went to Dr. Haben, the kids' pediatrician, from 1984 to 2002. The kids seen him at least 4 or 5 times a year, annual checkup, and then colds, flus, whatever. Okay? They seen him since they were born. He verified there was never any sign of any abuse, and the children were very well taken care of. Or he would have reported it. Okay? My kids, since they've seen him since they were born, they go in, hi, da 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 da, and talk his ear off. Normal, happy children. Now, you have to have proof somebody was abused. Injuries, pictures, hospital report, treatment, police investigation. I had to have that for the dog bite plus the dog warden's investigation. Then I have to have physical proof the person or the dog did it. I had to have that dog's DNA on my coat where it latched onto my arm and bit through. Now, I want you to think about that. I want you to think. All they have is a roofie by some guy named Pete Dave hired on his own. April 16, 23. Heard Danny and Jen when they walked over to Gabe and Shay across the parking lot. I finally went to Dad, ask him what on earth is going on. He said he'd hired some guy named Pete on his own. It was Pete and his men in our home before. Pete has a frame, Pete has her tape, the filthy, dirty statement. Never met him. See what I mean? The drugs and told us they had the black and blue marks. And like those lady investigators said, how dumb are these church people? They need to realize how stupid they are. Saying they had somebody drug her up and tell her to say it before and say, oh, we'll have somebody verify they were part of having someone drugged up and told to say stuff. And then there was no crime committed. So there's actually no evidence of anybody being hurt, right? No prosecution, no nothing. But because they roofied somebody and told them to say something awful, we can make sure that they're not allowed around children no more. No, you can't. See, that was one of the drug dealers that were breaking. They used sodium pentothal on me. Their threats if I left Dave. Now, we're going to have a talk. The Starr County Sheriffs have worked the case since 18. Canton Police, North Canton Police, and Massillon Police. FBI, U.S. Marshals. The CIA even knows of my case. ICE. The FBI case. I almost died to save my family. You know, my granddaughter, Brielle, was with us when we had breakfast. And I was looking at her. I kept thinking, when she was born, there was a threat on her life. David threatened to kill her. Her and Dixie. I'd called that agent back. He left a voicemail with a number in it. Called it back, and I looked up his where he said it was at, and I found him. Make sure he was real because he was so mean to me on the phone. Okay. And I let the office know he's threatening Dixie and the baby's life. And he said outside he's talking to someone, said he has a list. They yelled at I said I'm working on it. Okay. And I remember holding Brielle at the hospital, thinking he will not kill you. You have maybe 100 years on this earth. He will not kill you. I will not allow him over my dead body. If I have to die to stop him, let him get caught killing me. You will not die. I was thinking that when I was sitting at that table. And Dave was running around, I'll kill everything you left in life, Karen. I'll kill everything. I started taping my own witnesses. trying to get more and more evidence. And I thought, if I don't make it out, I will have proof of what happened to me. I want them stopped so no one else dies. That's where the officers that worked my case, investigators came in the last part of 18 and 19, yelled across Walmart. 62, it's ridiculous for any child to be afraid of Karen. She's nothing but good and love. Karen doesn't have it in her to hurt anyone. Karen's one of the finest women you'd ever meet in life. Don't you ever disrespect her. Even agents have told people, we all know she never hurt anyone. Nobody's ever seen anything. And some lady thought she could make money off us. In April, May of 24 in Myers, North Maine, a lady came in. I talked to the police that work her case. They said it's ridiculous for anybody to ever insult her. She almost died to save everyone. They always knew she was drugged and told us it before. And that tape of weird with yourself is photoshopped her washing in the shower. And it was just a scam. And it's ridiculous for anybody to ever insult her. She almost died to save children. Now, would you like to tell me what sheriff is trying to get an FBI case thrown out with people working with the drug cartel running drug scams on them? Last year, about this time, they were walking around announcing that if they had to destroy me, they would. That to get that FBI case thrown out against the cartel, so all cartel is released, including Judge Peters in Florida. That every bit of information they got off this case that led to anybody's arrest, they want them all released. Okay? And they were announcing it. Okay? So what sheriff is helping the drug cartel trying to get their people released? It is a federal crime for a sheriff, police officer, or an attorney, a prosecutor's office, to even badmouth me. I am in the Federal Witness Protection Program. In an FBI case, which led into the drug cartel, and thousands arrested and hundreds saved. So, it's 20 years federal prison, first and last name. The investigators in October 2020 to November of 2020, for we all know this woman's innocent. We all do. Officer Mark August of 23. It's documented, verified she was framed before, and it was a drug cartel in her home before. We'd seen them. Verified. In 19 or 20, where they were selling the login in the case, some girl said, I got the case. She looked at me and said, none of this is funny. On the front of it says she was found innocent of everything. 18, honey. My whole family spoke highly of me. These people were admitting where you had bruises before throwing up and infected. It wasn't the well water, it was us. We were drug beating, raping you. We drugged you and told you to say this. We drugged you and told you to say that. We photoshopped all our lies, raced people out of the room. And what else did they say? The doctor from before, they were using their doctor from the Florida drug cartel. And by 19, he had never met me in person. So, does the sheriff know I'm framed by the drug cartel? Yeah. North Canton Jackson Police? Yeah. Where April 28th, 24, Walmart on the Strip. Officer in uniform today. Karen I was listening to this today, and we all know no one drugs anybody but the drug cartel. No drug cartel in our home before. We all know that guy told on you before. Boy, that was a hot day in there, too. Case spinning around me like a hurricane. I went, there's a speedway, or is that a marathon, on Route 800, right by Sandy Valley Estates in Magnolia. Went in there, went to use the bathroom, my phone's bugged. They got those ladies saying the Tuscarora sheriffs are making fun of me for being raped. That how stupid am I? Not to realize I was being raped. Call me stupid. They know I'm an FBI informant. I was listening to a Tuscarora sheriff talk to another sheriff and said the FBI has her blocked. Has only her licenses, and then everything else is blocked. And it just says informant. Federal Witness Protection Program. You know, I went to my doctor and I was talking about all the injuries I had from being drugged, being raped. Nobody thought of a rapist. And that I was trying to make sense out of it, was blaming the dirty well water because it was orange. Showering in it. You know what she said? It actually makes sense. If the well water would have had E. coli in it, or a severe toxin, it would have got in your bloodstream by showering in it. It would have made your personal area infected. You would have had headaches. You would have been throwing up. And you could have started bruising. If you would have had E. coli or a severe toxin. I said, we had a test that had several types of iron in it. She said, that would do nothing. But you blaming the well water? It's actually a logical thought. So where those women were calling me stupid for being raped, and that the sheriffs down there are calling me stupid, they already know I'm an FBI informant. Flabbergasted. I was going to go shopping today. My stomach hurt. I just stayed home. I didn't want to hear the wah, 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 wah of ignorant people. And you know what? I usually brush it off and just hold my head up high. They're not going to bully me. And I'll live where I want. I'll work wherever I want. The FBI would pass me to work in a daycare. It's not your fault when you're drugged up and told to say stuff. Photoshopped washing. And in the most ridiculous scam, someone impersonating a doctor breaking HIPAA. I mean, my God, think of their scam. It is so illegal. I told my boss about it. He's like, they can't do any of that. No doctor could ever be with them. That is a big crime. I said, it's a federal crime. He said, I know it is. No doctor could ever be with them. And stocking tapes with drug confessions, photoshopped washing by people that are human trafficking you out of that home. And beating, raping you, and running a drug scam, thinking the FBI was so stupid they'd open up a case and then hand them the money. You know, they thought if they made it out that I was a dirty person, they could kill me in front of society and it'd be okay. My one friend, Keith Shapiro, he told me back in 19, he said, I have a friend that actually works at Facebook. He said they got a new way of destroying people. He said what they do is where people put videos up online, they'll take sentences out of other sentences, out of other sentences. They'll retape over everything. Everything's digital. So it looks like you said something you did. They'll Photoshop your head on somebody else's body. They'll Photoshop scenes. And then they set off hate crimes. And they tell everybody the same lie. And everybody believes it to be true. People lose their jobs. They have to move out of the area. All because someone framed them. It's a new way of destroying people. These people are worse. They're breaking in private homes. Laughing that as I walked by, they were stabbing me with hypnotic drugs. They work so fast you don't remember even being stabbed. They work in 45 seconds. Then I thought I got stung by a bee once. Mm-hmm. And you're sleepwalking with a metal taste in your mouth and no memory. I told you they did it to a U.S. Marshals kid twice. And she don't know what happened to her. My coworker Dar was taken and raped. She don't remember meeting those people. And my neighbor Mike got it. And he didn't know how he got home, didn't know how he changed his shoes, had money in his pocket. And he was still talking crazy. I could have told him to say or do anything. Tried to tell me he was a New York cop and thought I was pretty. Asked me to go cuddle. I'm like, go sleep it off. I thought, dear God, you're stoned out of your mind. Now I want you to think, how many times has the police even told these people we were never interested in her? We're after the people that did it to her. We're trying to get all the people they hired. They weren't interested in a drugged up, beat up rape victim. That some drug dealers were running a scam on, and the most crackheaded scam. Special permission stocking tapes, photoshopped a washing in the shower in another room. They even verified it wasn't even me, but it's some lady washing herself, and they put my head on her body. Wrong body ratio. July 25th, 25, about 8:30 in the morning. Biker outside Bob Evans talking. Did a body ratio. And they already verified by September 30th, 25, that it was hypnotic drugs they used on me. That's why she has no memory of those people. And they drugged her and told her to say it before. Why she had a metal taste in her mouth. Couldn't get it out. Causes no memory. And sleepwalking. Now, and it's not my doctor. They even verified. I told you, they admitted it in 18. Then where that pretty Michelle with long blonde hair told an agent March 27, 25 that the doctor from before was not one of mine, was for them, and they had lied. She don't know who he is. She actually don't know who he is. They lied he was one of her doctors. Okay. And she actually don't know who he is. And when they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent at work. She screamed the same thing out April 17th, 25. The cartel confessed May 26, 25. This whole thing was a scam from Bill from the Freemason of the dirty doctor not being one of hers works for them, and they had lied he was one of her doctors. And she actually don't know who he is, and the whole thing's a scam. HIPAA violations. No doctor could ever be seen with them. It is a federal crime. They don't know the law. That's why I told you I don't believe the person's attorney. And let's see. Where do we start? September 30th, 25. That short-haired blonde Michelle, Dave's crackheaded girlfriend, how this whole thing was her family's debt to drug dealers. No, I didn't know who she was. Took me a while to put all the pieces together who she was, the one that showed up at Faith Family Church, that she was retired Judge Pete's daughter, FBI agent Will's daughter, and they were above the law and they could have anybody drug beat and raped. Law couldn't touch them. With Judge Peter's group from Florida, and the one saying they were hurting me and hurting me before. Okay? Let's go forward. December 30th, 25. Or December 1st, 25. We'll go on that one. December 1st, 25. Of an investigator showing up. The pretty Michelle with the long blonde hair that told the agent March 27th, 25. About the doctor. Investigator showed up. Michelle showed up and told me that these people confessed. That was November 23rd, 25. That this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government, and her ex-husband was involved. And that the doctor from before was not one of mine, worse for them, and they had lied. He was one of her doctors. She don't know who he is. It's HIPAA. These people don't know the law. And that guy Pete running his mouth on her is just some guy Dave hired on his own, and she don't even know who he is. And they admitted to using hypnotic drugs when they drugged her and told her to say it before. And that tape of Weird with Yourself is nothing but a shower scene in the other room of washing yourself. And the whole thing was just a scam to extort money from the government. So what sheriff is backing a scam to extort money from the FBI? In it with an office that's saying their attorney's office. Scamming the FBI, federal government, with drug confessions, photoshopping and washing, and fake dirty doctors, breaking HIPAA. And insulting an FBI informant where they're trying to get the FBI case thrown out against the cartel, and serial killers released. First and last name. Do you know how horrible it was in that gas station? It was a Bell store, okay? Those ladies in there that work there, and that Karen's well. A group of people running around saying her grandkids are looking in cracks in bathroom doors, and she was doctoring her sores from being raped, and they were making fun of her for being raped. And the police said they ever catch and find out that they were looking through bathroom doors, peeking at people, taking care of themselves, they'll put them in jail. And the police already said she's so dumb anyways. She didn't realize she was being raped. Waking up with bruises and infected and migraine headache. No, I went to the doctor. I was blaming the dirty well water. I never seen anybody. I think it's funny somebody asked breaking in your house, stabbing you with something. And you wake up like that, and the only thing new to you is you're showering in orange, dark orange well water real quick. Thought it was toxic. Here it's just rusty. I think it's funny that rapists are doing that and keeping you so drugged up. Think it's funny? Calling me stupid? The police said how stupid she is. Not figuring it out. So what? Tuscarawas sheriff called an FBI informant stupid for being raped by the cartel. First and last name. You want the people that are claiming they're part of an office September 10th, 25. Tuscarawas County Courthouse, where they're looking for somebody dumb enough to arrest me and stupid enough to do it with that open FBI case trying to make Agent Sean show up. She can't be processed. She's in the witness protection program. It's the only way we can make sure he shows up. We gotta find somebody stupid enough to arrest her and dumb enough to do it. Seems like Louisville the only one don't know about the FBI case. No other law enforcement would ever dare touch her. It's a federal crime to touch me. Louisville filed the case May 30th, 25. On the surveillance of May 26, 25, this whole thing is a scam built from the Freemasons. The dirty doctor not being one of hers works for them, and they had lied. He was one of her doctors. She actually don't know who he is, and the whole thing's a scam. Walmart 62, they still have it. They keep him for years, tape and audio. May 26, 25. Okay. And then they found the original case. My ex-husband hired 2 men on his own. One said he was an attorney, so it made it legal. No, it didn't. Made it worse illegal. Oh, I know better. It does make it worse illegal. So, but down at the courthouse on September 10th, 25 at Tuscarawas County Courthouse. Somebody behind the prosecutor's door, I want her to have nothing. I want her to hate her husband. I want her to have nothing. Psycho. That Judge Lori down there in office was down here calling her a liar. We everyone's to get even with her. It's illegal for an attorney's office, judge, prosecutor, please call me a liar. Insult me at all. I am in the witness protection program. They're trying to get the case thrown out against the cartel. Walk by a door, someone's behind the door. I had the right to do those things to her. I had the right. No, you didn't, psycho. Then after we get out in the hallway, we sit down. Then Carl's 6 foot, 350-pound stepdaughter from his second marriage comes up and sexually assaults Carl in the courthouse. It was like watching a man molest my husband. I've seen Carl. She gave him thrush. His whole mouth and throat, everything is swelled up. I take him to the hospital within 3 days. And those aren't even his kids. They're his second wife's children. He was never their father. Brenda and Jim were their mom and dad. And they knew their dad until a few years ago when he passed. The orphan nanny thing is a scam. They're just robbing Carl blind. And where he said where anytime his second wife would get mad, she'd have her grown children beat on him in front of her and then have Deb sexually assault him. He lived in fear and horror for years. I told him to the best of my capability, I will make sure those people stay away from you. You will never be afraid of being beat on or killed. I will protect you as best as I can. And they will not steal from you, and they will not threaten you anymore. And you will not live your life in fear. I'm only one person. I can only do so much. And that judge, I'll tell you what, Agent John, you pull the courthouse tapes of Tuscarawas County, September 10th, 25, it's an oh my God. You want the people behind it down there under police surveillance. And then that judge, Carl told them that his stepson, Lester, almost beat him to death. He's like, I did. And Carl said, all I did is tell him not to swear at his mom. He started backing me in the corner. The guy's like 6 foot, or 5'10", 50 pounds heavier than Carl. At least 40 pounds. And Carl's 5'3", was 130 pounds. The guy's like 5'10". And he was, late 20s, early 30s? Lied to the judge he was 15 when it happened. Carl's like, liar, it was 10 years ago. Beating on somebody in their 70s. Carl said the only thing that saved his life is adrenaline kicked in and grabbed all the middle of his throat and choked it till he let him go. Or you would have killed him. He said, oh, yeah, I was beating him that bad. I was angry. He said he gets a hold of me now, he'll kill me. I'm scared for my life and I don't want him near me ever again. He has a right to say that. You know what that judge said? It's probably your new marriage's fault. They're not even his kids. He has a right to say he don't want someone around him. Can't make him see them. They're not even family. You can't make anybody see anybody they don't want to anyways. You have the right to have who you want in your life. And people that admitted they've almost killed you, she wouldn't give him a restraining order. And that Karen, his girlfriend, coming in, Judge, she's evil. She buys him healthy food, new shoes, new clothes, and makes him feel good about herself. She's nothing but pure evil. That makes me a good person, dumbass. And them in there crying, my daddy. That dad was 26, married on her own, and had her own children when he married their mother. The other ones were, 13 and 15? And their dad was still alive in the town, knew him until a few years ago. Had a dad their whole life. They just robbed Carl of all his money and beat on him into submission. That's all they did. No more. That's why I tell you, Agent John, I need new names and social for me and my husband. We can live anywhere, a life out in peace. I need my money. I need a medical card. I have a lot of injuries, horrible injuries from the case help in the FBI. You know, the officers that work my case, she's amazing. She's lived through all this and helped us get all this information on these people. She's amazing. Karen's one of the finest women you'd ever meet in life. Even federal agents, we all know she never hurt anyone. Nobody's ever seen anything. It was just some lady thought she could make money off of it. Part of the extortion group. I think she was with the Louisville police, May 30th, 25 at 1 o'clock in the morning. How she thought she could trick me out of money. Well, they think the police and the feds are stupid. And they want you to show up, Agent John. I think you need to. And inform them of the federal crimes they have committed. I had one investigator scream at these people. I found out what's going on. One person opens their mouth to her, arrested for attempted murder. I actually got a shot in peace. That's the least of their charges. Don't forget the guy in my old apartment on North Chapel in Louisville. The one that bragged he was in office when this whole thing is a scam to extort money from the government. September 30th, 25, about 1 o'clock in the morning. January 1926, Bob Evans in Fairlawn. That Henry Maffey, that Will Bill guy. His daughter, Michelle, the short-haired blonde girl. How this whole thing was a scam to pay off drug dealers that they owed. Even the human traffic people, and they're trying to scam the government out of money. He was part of scamming you. He'd like you to explain yourself why you arrested the drug dealers they hired to hurt me when you told them you didn't care what they did to me. I'd like you to explain yourself to him too. Start off with his Miranda rights. But you need to find out what sheriffs are bad-mouthing me and trying to help get your case against the cartel thrown out. I'm tired. I have a headache. I deal with the bullshit upon bullshit. I'd like my money. We all know you told on me for calling the hotline, act like a crazy call person. The Hartville police told people you told them you were only acting that way to get the drug dealers. They do know that it's illegal for police to work a case against an FBI informant during government immunity, right? And what are you really working against? Somebody being roofied and told to say stuff? Photoshopped washing and stocking tapes and fake dirty doctors breaking HIPAA so some drug dealer can scam the government out of money to pay off his drug debt? What the hell? What the hell? Oh, we're going to make sure she can't be around children. What cop said that? Because the cops that worked my case, some of them on different outings brought their family and their kids and sat next to me. Some of their teenagers filled in as extras when shopping with me. We all know she's innocent. 19. So, what are you talking about? Like I said, they even went to Dr. Haven, was the kids' pediatrician from 1984 to 2002. There was no sign of any abuse. The kids were very well taken care of. 18 years. Seen them probably the minimum of, 4 times a year? Yearly checkup. And then for colds, flus, whatever. And they were always happy to see him. Go in, look at me in the eye, laugh, and talk with him. They had seen him since they were born. They were normal, happy children. I almost died to save my children. And the police and the investigators will tell you that. I've had other ones scream at him, "How dare you ever insult her? She almost died to save everyone. How dare you?" And scream at people's face. I was found innocent of everything in 18. Officer Mark told the North Jackson Police, June or July of 19, the worst thing he ever did wrong is bend over and probably, honey, we can wipe that one out. Some old man showed up the first month of case. I had another bruise on me throwing up. It took me a while to get together. Went down to Walmart 62 and announced he worked for Dave. And he used sodium pentothal on me. He stabbed me in my sleep. Told me to say something about a wrong nightgown, bending over and probably accidentally see my butt in Life of Pain. I'm like, my God, who are you? And what are you talking about? Dave verified I didn't know that nightgown. Years before, I just got it that year. And one time I was dressed completely modestly, and they only made fun of the back of my knees had some varicose veins. I made up the whole thing. How many times have they made fun of everyone for falling for this? November 18, 22. And then several other times. The FBI, June 7th, 23. Mocked Agent John again. August 5th, 25. Randomly here and there. How they made fun of everyone for falling for this. And it's just nothing but a scam. How many times? So what cop is helping out in a drug scam? And then who would dare insult an FBI informant and try to get an FBI case thrown out against the cartel and get serial killers put back out on the street? And let alone one that's already been proven innocent of everything. On top of it, being in immunity, they went ahead and proved my innocence. So, and that I was framed by the drug cartel. So who? First and last names. And what Touch Girl shares are making fun of rape victims and human trafficking victims and calling them stupid. And what Stark County sheriffs are talking to that lady in Virginia's restaurant. We all know who I'm talking about. And bad-mouthing me and helping an office try to throw out a FBI case against a cartel when we all know the sheriffs worked my case. And what does it say on the front of it? She was found innocent of everything. I've had lady investigators looked up the case and said that she was innocent of everything and she never hurt anyone. So who's helping out with the fraud scheme? My phone's bugged. The police and the FBI have those people. My car will pick up 3 parking lots away. Don't confess to a crime outside around my car. My phone can pick up across the room. FBI informant. Went out to eat with an officer. Said, "Is your phone tapped by the police?" I said, "Maybe." He said, "Well, is it or not?" I went, "Maybe, kind of, sort of." He said, "Well," and I said, "We'll put it this way. I wouldn't confess to a crime around me." He started laughing. He said, "Boy, did that take care of a lot." I'm going to upload this.